shed no tear, no woman, no cry. Good friends we have, and good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So giants need to stay.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world! And my entire family is gone! Have I not given everything?
I'm an idiot. I don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing? Ow! There's already a superhero with a red suit with a lightning bolt on it. Aquaman is literally huge and so manly, and Batman is so cool. I'm just me. I feel like a fraud. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the wizard gave me superpowers. Well, not everybody got superpowers. Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Now everyone's kind of like doing their own thing, and I'm the only one trying to keep it together.
You understand I'm a pediatrician, right?
The fate of your world depends on it. The daughters of Atlas are coming for you.
Children so powerful as a ghost. This is very personal.
Yeah, I might not have as much experience as you, because I'm not super old like you.
But I've seen all of the Fast and the Furious movies, lady. It's all about
Family! Guys, that was a signal!
Introducing the star of our show!
The world will not survive this.
I don't know how he fights powers like this.
I think I know how to fix this dude, but I really don't.
It won't give you worthy. You're chosen. Now go fight for your family. Go fight for the world.
I just threw a truck at a dragon. I love my life.
My powers are not a gift, but a curse. Born out of rage. Look at him. You believe you are not worthy. But there are two paths. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its Instead, it got me.
Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Sunday's show, my huge, gigantic Comic-Con reaction. We saw 3 trailers. Two from the DCEU, it's the excitement, and 1 from the MCU. And I have to say, the 2 from the DCEU are better than the 1 from the MCU, which is Wakanda Forever, which is the Black Panther sequel. I really want to talk about those trailers. I want to talk about everything that went down for the DCEU and MCU yesterday in Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. But first of all, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. No, Henry Cavill was not at San Diego Comic-Con. And if we really look inside of ourselves deeply, we know, beyond our hope and our bias, that Henry Cavill was never going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, was he now? This week has really been about Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers Pictures and Toby Emmerich's fear of Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse. First of all, we had an article trying to discredit Zack. That failed. When that failed, Plan B came into action, and they do have a Plan B and C. They've actually got a better plan to try and destroy Zack Snyder than they have for a DC extended fucking universe. That's the hilarity of all of this. But anyway, right, none of it works because they're incompetent fools. So next they decided the lie fed through to Deadline that maybe it could happen that Henry Cavill could be going to San Diego Comic-Con Hall H to talk about his future as Superman. Of course, this was never true. Why did they lie? Why did they leak it? To distract you from the trends of Restore the Snyderverse, hope to distract you away from buying a copy in the US of the newly released digital copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. But if you really want to know the biggest of the hilarities of all of this proving their fucking failure, Warner Brothers actually make Teen Titans Go. Well, guess what? It was revealed yesterday that Zack will actually guest star in the animated series Teen Titans Go as himself, and I can't wait. Zack Snyder wins, the Snyderverse wins, Toby Emmerich, Walter Hamada, and all that lot lose, and they lose badly. We'll be reading an article shortly where we hear that The Rock was actually booed in Hall H, and we will get into that very, very shortly. Well, Kevin Feige was proudly launching and talking about his master MCU plan. DC president of film was hiding in a bunker. Yes, Walter Hamada was not at San Diego Comic-Con. If his plans and Emmerich's plans went to plan, right, we would have had 4 or 5 DC movies this year, right? The Batman, Black Adam, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the Flash movie, and Shazam and Batgirl, right? We would have had a huge year. I don't know if Batgirl would have ever come out. And you know, we could have had Walter Hamada there proudly bragging about the movies that have come so far, talking about the future. Where is Walter Hamada still hiding ever since Ray Fisher exposed him? How can you have a president of DC Films hiding in a fucking bunker? Now, he's obviously not really hiding in a bunker, but he's in hiding. This is ridiculous, right? So say what you want about Phase 4 of the MCU, because it's been a fucking calamity. There's no question about it. Poor CGI, terrible cinematography, terribly executed movies, cut down, reshoots after reshoots. It's embarrassing for them, right? But the guy has a plan. The guy has an identity and he has a vision. He stood in Hall H proudly and he gave us a lot of stuff, which we'll go into a little bit later on. No Walter Hamada. Basically, all we got
was very, very short kind of sessions in Hall H for Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods, but the success of those two panels was the trailers. The trailer for Shazam Fury of the Gods was sensational, and the promo, the short 1 minute promo that some people are complaining about that length of Black Adam, was a lot better than the 2.5 minutes trailer we got for trailer 1. Now, I have seen a test screening of Black Adam. There was a few shots in this trailer I didn't see in the test screening, just in case you're thinking, why is he surprised for? Is he just faking it? No, I was genuinely shocked. Fucking excellent trailer for trailer 2 of Black Adam. This is the trailer we should have had. First of all, they should have added that sequence to an epic 3-minute trailer and edited the first trailer better. Black Adam is an excellent movie, and the trailer of Shazam Fury of the Gods is excellent and pretty much confirms most of the leaks we spoke about on a video months ago here at Movies TV Mad. Yes, we're always here at Movies TV Mad to talk about what matters. But I do have issues, of course. So he talks about all the superheroes like The Flash, like Aquaman and Batman, but he doesn't talk about Superman. That's because this film, I think, was coming after the Flash movie. If I remember rightly, it was coming in 2013. That would be a hard trick, wouldn't it? It will be coming in 2023, after the multiverse strategy took shape and Henry Cavill's Superman was deleted in the Flash movie. That's why he doesn't mention Superman. Intriguingly, he doesn't mention Wonder Woman either in this cut, because in the original cut, which was leaked ages ago, Wonder Woman plays a big role in this movie. Now, David F. Sandberg, who I absolutely gave a shout out on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, at Movies TV Man, thanked him for his efforts. The movie looks excellent. He was asked about Superman, because basically everyone just wants to talk to The Rock and David F. Sandberg about Superman. Must be frustrating, but it shows you how relevant my favourite character in fiction is. So basically, David didn't say it wasn't happening, right? He said there's a lot of things happening in this movie. Interesting. How much has this movie changed, right? And, you know, they mentioned The Flash, but not Superman. This is interesting. Now, interestingly enough, we get a pretty good shot of Affleck's Batman. We can't see him because he's in the mask, right? But it's a great shot. And it's blatantly Affleck's Batman. It's not Robert Pattinson's the Batman. Of course, he's not in the DCEU. Just to be clear about that. And we get a good close look at Momoa as well. But we only get a shot of Ezra Miller's The Flash running, not a face shot, which means potentially they could be planning to replace him. I don't know what they're planning, but so that was interesting. So those two DCEU trailers were absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to get back to Henry Cavill very shortly. I want to talk about Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, and that trailer very, very briefly. Basically, it's another propaganda tour, isn't it? There's a song about women. Women dominate this trailer of this movie. There's lots of extreme left propaganda and messaging. I'm bored already. The cinematography looks great, better than most of the Phase 4 movies so far. Obviously, Ryan Coogler's a great director, but it's more extreme left propaganda in the MCU and with Disney. Boring. I'm bored. Right. Let's get back to Henry Cavill, right? I'm going to read an article right now about a certain situation of The Rock getting booed because he said something about Superman in Hall H. So let's give this a read. Just unplug the charger so I'm not like tagging it. Right. Watch Dwayne Johnson gets booed at Comic-Con over Superman response. Over the course of the DCEU cinematic history, Henry Cavill has always been one of the fans' favourite heroes. He first took off in Man of Steel back in 2013, then crossed over to Batman vs Superman, and finally landed in Zack Snyder's Justice League. However, the actor hasn't been seen as the famous Kryptonian since the recut of the 2017 film. Many have expressed disappointment at his absence. It's assumed that Warner Brothers has specifically taken action to do away with Cavill's Clark Kent, thanks to how badly Justice League did. This became even more apparent when Sasha Calle was brought aboard as Supergirl in The Flash. Recently, rumours started to swirl that Cavill would be making a surprise appearance at San Diego Comic-Con 2022 for some sort of announcement about his DC films future. Sadly, not only was this false, but Dwayne Johnson also shared a worrisome response to a fan's question when it comes to Superman's role in the future. So Dwayne Johnson gets booed. At San Diego Comic-Con 2022, Black Adam star Dwayne Johnson was asked who would win in a fight, Superman or his titular character. This is what Dwayne had to say. By the way, let me just say, I love The Rock's enthusiasm. This is not his fault. He can't magically force them to bring Cavill back. He's tried his best, bless him. Anyway, he is basically making this film and Super Pets from the WB Pictures the toxic side that hate Cavill and Snyder. Let's be clear about that. That's a great question. Don't threaten me with a good time because I'm going to answer that question. Well, I will say, as you guys know, because we're all in deep with this mythology, and it's been an age-old question of who would win a fight between Black Adam and Superman. You see how he takes his time because he keeps on throwing long sentences in before he answers the question because he doesn't know what to say, how to answer it. You know, oldest trick in the book. Pound for pound, they're pretty close. I guess it probably all depends on who is playing Superman. I'm just going to say that. I'll leave it at that. So, why does it matter who's playing Superman? Surely that's irrelevant. He's from Krypton. He has superpowers. His weakness is kryptonite, magic. Zatanna could literally murder Superman if she wanted to. That's probably a more prevalent question. Could Zatanna, who would win in a fight, Zatanna or Superman? Well, magic is a weakness of Chaos, basically, aka Superman, and Zatanna could definitely have more of a chance against Superman, as far as I'm concerned, than Black Adam. So, it makes no difference who's playing him, Dwayne, and it was an odd thing to say. So, because I've got to be careful what I say here. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you if I saw a cut of the film with Superman in it or anything like that. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is that he has posed a very interesting question, because no matter what you see in a test screening, everyone, test screenings are often very, very different, you know, in the theatrical release. They always are. So I can see everything I want in a test screening, and it could be dramatically different. That's what I tried to explain to you yesterday with Wonder Woman 84. If you've never seen a test screening, that's why maybe you question people when the theatrical cut comes out. But the point is here that this is a very curious question, because no matter what I saw in the test screening, right, he's kind of hinting that the Superman potentially in this movie is played by a different actor, isn't he? Now, before I carry on this article, if there's any more of it left, because I never proofread these articles, a bit dumb, right? So, The Rock has made a rod for his own back here. Ever since he was announced to be playing Black Adam, we saw him sit at a table with Henry Cavill, because things were different back then. Zack was in charge, things were better, right? The other week, a very, very, well-known Superman fan was saying, tagged The Rock and said, at The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, should I say, right? I don't need any cameos in the Black Adam movie, but if there is one, I'd love it to be Superman. So basically, The Rock replied with a winking emoji, not helping the situation. A day before San Diego Hall H for The Rock and that panel, for Black Adam, should I say, the director actually was in an interview with Deadline. He was asked about a potential Superman appearance in the movie, or even Shazam, and he said, by the end of the movie, Black Adam still doesn't know who Shazam and Superman are. Basically, he's playing with words, isn't he? By saying that, it doesn't mean those two characters won't appear in that movie, but it's an interesting thing to say. Anyway, I won't say anything more than that. So they're making a rod for their own back here. They've been teasing Superman publicly, and as you can see, like with the director, what he said to Deadline, he doesn't say they're not in the movie. He doesn't say Superman's not in the movie. I believe if they were to change the actor for Superman in Black Adam, and God knows what they're going to do. I mean, he claims the movie's finished now, but who knows what they're going to do, what they were going to rejig in editing, and they can change whatever they like, and they lie to us. as well. If we were to watch Black Adam, and this would be a shock to me considering I've seen the test screening, and a different actor was playing Superman, that would be the end. Listen, at this moment in time, The Flash is in trouble, may not be released. Batgirl, still no release date. I think Comic-Con was last chance saloons for that. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, you know, what they're going to do with Amber Heard, they're in trouble. Black Adam and Shazam, you know, I've seen Black Adam. It's a phenomenal, you know, superhero blockbuster. And Shazam Fury of the Gods looks a lot of fun. So the films themselves are going to be great. But he winked at a Superman fan when he asked about a Superman cameo. So that's all I'm going to say. Now, if they were to change their minds and not have Cavill in there and bring in someone else, this would be hugely problematic. And saying it depends what actor is playing Superman, again, is very, very problematic. So he got booed. That's a good thing. I don't want the man to get booed, by the way. And it's not a boo at him. Everyone loves The Rock and his enthusiasm for DC. He's a huge DC fan, no question about that. But he's also a businessman. So, but, you know, he's made a rod. With this Superman situation, he has made a rod for his own back. And by saying that, it depends what actor's playing him, he got really upset. Again, James Gunn said something like this when he was, you know, promoting the Suicide Squad and talking about Bloodsport trying to kill Superman. And he's saying, I don't know if it's Henry Cavill's Superman or another Superman. Again, it's pretty clear that Walter Hamada, Toby Emmerich, and the toxicity at WB Pictures hate Henry Cavill and want him replaced. And this has been an issue for many, many years now, and this has just stirred up the narrative. As I've been saying ever since the delays of The Flash and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and bringing Shazam Fury of the Gods forward, the DCEU is in an absolutely, you know, it's a mess, everyone. It's an absolute mess, and there's no way around it. And these two movies are the only positivity they've got. These could be the last two movies in the DCEU we ever see, depending on their box office. It's as simple as that. Now, if these films are successful, you can kind of integrate them into a new universe. Of course you can. We'll see what happens. But come September, the announcements will come. When Emmerich is gone, these big announcements and the plans from David Zaslav will happen. Whether they're good plans, you know, or bad plans, that's for you, the audience, to decide. I know some of these situations, and, you know, I've got to keep my mouth shut. Very shortly, we're going to talk about the breaking news, as we stay on the subject of Black Adam, that Amanda Waller, yes, Amanda Waller, will appear in Black Adam. Of course, I already knew this, but I have to keep it under my hat. I'm really, really happy it's official, because now we can discuss it. I'm so excited I forgot to finish the article. So we were talking about The Rock saying it depends on what actor is playing Superman. This was the response. Very, very interesting. This response was met by loud boos from the audience, as specifically pointed out by Reddit user Dennis Bastard. This response clearly implies that Henry Cavill might not be playing Superman anymore in the future. The reaction can be heard in the video below. So, under no uncertain terms, the audience, by those boos, have told Warner Brothers how they feel. They love Henry Cavill, and Warner Brothers Pictures' toxic plan to delete his Superman is simply not going to work. And that's the plan. That's what they've shot in the Flash movie. They're going to have to think again, or people will vote with their wallets. So, well done to the people for booing. I agree with it. Another angle of the exchange can be seen thanks to comic books Brandon Davis on Twitter. Black Adam versus Superman depends on who is playing Superman, yeah? And he plays that video. Where is Superman? At this point, fans are all but begging for some kind of news when it comes to Cavill's role in the DCEU going forward. Anything will work. The world just needs closure. If Warner Brothers truly plans on not bringing him back at all, just announce it. Make it clear so that audiences can all move on, and Cavill can as well. This is the thing. They're too scared. They can't make a decision. They can't even make a fucking decision about the Flash movie. These are incompetent people. And I don't blame Zaslav and Discovery for this. They've come in the middle of this mess. You know, Toby Emmerich is leaving a fucking mess in his wake. But would it be a good idea to let the actor go? No, probably not. His Superman is beloved, adaptation of the character, and many feel he was done injustice with the projects he was given. There's also Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam to fight one day. Witnessing Cavill versus The Rock would be quite a spectacle. If DC really does get rid of him, Marvel Studios should jump on the opportunity to recruit him for the MCU. The actor could make a perfect Captain Britain, and with the mutants just around the corner, there will be plenty of awesome opportunities for Cavill to take advantage of Black Adam. Hits theatres on October 21st later this year, blah, blah, blah. Well, listen. Henry Cavill is a very, very loyal gentleman, a very loyal young man. He loves Superman. And as long as there's a chance for him to play the character, I don't think he wants to totally cut ties with the studio. Because he's doing nothing with the studio right now. And he hasn't since Justice League, really. But Superman is important to him. And his Superman is important to the rest of us. You know, people were heartbroken that he didn't show up. Not Henry's fault. It was a lie to distract from the Snyderverse because they're afraid of the Snyderverse. They don't want Zaslav to restore the Snyderverse. And this, look, if you want any evidence, someone on Twitter said you need to move on, Mick, because of that bullshit Jim Lee said about no plans for the Snyderverse to be restored. He has no say in the matter. He doesn't have a clue. It's fine. Don't tell me to move on, or I'll tell you to move on from what you love. But the point is, if we're so far away from the restoration of the Snyderverse, why did they collude with a site to do a hit piece to discredit Zack Snyder? Why did they lie about Henry Cavill being at Comic-Con just so they could distract from the trends or restore the Snyderverse? They're scared because we're really, really close to restoring the Snyderverse. And well done for booing. Well done for showing your dissatisfaction. Now, David Zaslav knows directly how the people feel. We will get to it very shortly. I've been teasing you with it for a while now. Amanda Waller is in Black Adam. We'll discuss it very shortly. I'm very, very frustrated that Disney, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, the cast of Wakanda Forever seem to be using the death of Chadwick Boseman, a very tragic death, sad death, great actor. We all loved him as T'Challa, Black Panther in the first film. They seem to be using his death to promote the movie. You know, boo-hoo, we lost our friend. But, you know, the only people truly affected by this man's death are his friends, his family, if he's got a wife, and if he's got children, them. Not people he worked with. You're literally using this to upstage this film because this film has no depth and nothing going for it. We will talk about Wakanda Forever and it being the last film in Phase 4 as well a little bit later on. But I thought I'd mention now, I find that very frustrating and it's immoral too. So, finally, I can talk about the news that Amanda Waller, aka Viola Davis, will appear in Black Adam. Black Adam brings back the Suicide Squad's Amanda Waller. Suicide Squad star Viola Davis is officially returning as Amanda Waller in Black Adam, marking her fourth DCEU appearance as the villain by Cooper Hood of Screen Rant. Viola Davis returns as Amanda Waller is officially happening in Black Adam. The DC Extended Universe is ushering in a new era. They're just fucking insane. There's no new era yet. This is the other new era that was supposed to be a new era. Yeah, forget about it. Anyway, and Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam will play a big role in it. If the film's successful, it will play some role in it. The upcoming DCEU movie features The Rock's long-awaited debut as Black Adam, but it is also responsible for introducing the Justice Society of America. Characters like Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, Hawkman, and Cyclone are set to appear and join the growing list of DCEU characters. However, there has still been great speculation about the possibility of known DCEU characters returning in Black Adam. One of the noticeable aspects of the DCEU's new vision is making the movies more connected, including putting crossover characters in various projects. Arguably, the biggest example of this idea came with the Justice League being in Peacemaker. There have been no shortage of rumours about what the DCEU characters could make surprise appearances in Black Adam. Henry Cavill's Superman and Zachary Levi's Shazam are two of the most requested cameos It was previously rumoured that Peacemaker's Amelia Harcourt, Jennifer Holland, would appear in Black Adam 2. It has now been revealed that Viola Davis will return as Amanda Waller in Black Adam, which was confirmed during Warner Bros. Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Viola Davis made her DCEU debut as Waller in 2016 Suicide Squad, where she was introduced as the one overseeing Task Force X. She recently returned for the Suicide Squad and made a cameo in Peacemaker. Amanda Waller's Black Adam return marks her fourth appearance in the DCEU overall. The return of Amanda Waller in Black Adam gives the film a major connection to the larger DCEU universe. It is unknown how big of a role Viola Davis' character has or how she is connected to the movie's main story. Peacemaker's ending last showed Waller watching as she was being outed on live TV for her crimes with Task Force X. While this will be the first potential encounter between Amanda Waller and Black Adam in the DCEU, the original plan for Suicide Squad 2 was to make Black Adam the villain. So that is interesting. Now, that wasn't part of James Gunn's idea. That was going to be the sequel from David Ayer. So that was a long time ago, that idea. This upcoming appearance for Viola Davis as Amanda Waller could be important for the larger DCEU plans. It was previously announced that James Gunn is developing an Amanda Waller series for HBO Max. Well, he's kind of got credits to it, but I don't know how much of it he's developing himself. Black Adam is now in a position to possibly set up pieces of the show's story, or at least fill in what has happened to Waller after Peacemaker's finale. In any case, it is unlikely that Viola Davis filmed a major appearance in secret, meaning audiences should prepare for a minor role for Amanda Waller in Black Adam overall. So, very exciting news that we can talk about this. So, I'm not going to tell you what I know about her appearance in the film. He's right. It's a minor one. Maybe don't be surprised if it comes near to the end of the film and it is connected to Amelia Harcourt and what we already spoke about. So I don't have to confirm or deny this. There was a rumour. Amelia Harcourt and Task Force X arrive in the movie. They somehow knock out Black Adam cold, not confirming or denying this, and they abduct him because they need him for some reason. So it makes sense that Viola Davis is in this film, doesn't it now? But this is interesting now. Whose idea is the Suicide Squad character's connection to Black Adam? Is it Walter Hamada's or is it James Gunn's? Because if this is Walter Hamada's, will this idea survive? If it's James Gunn, who's already had his Peacemaker Series 2 announced, and this Viola Davis series as well, Amanda Waller series in development apparently, but James Gunn tried to calm people down about that because maybe it's not as close to happening as we thought. To me, this sounds like a typical Marvel Studios idea, a typical James Gunn idea. I love the idea of connecting Black Adam to this Suicide Squad universe. So if this is James Gunn's idea, this will connect. This is interesting because he comes from Marvel Studios where they're very good with interconnectivity. This is a very good idea. I'm very excited and interested to see what they do with the future of Black Adam being involved with the Suicide Squad. And it's very, very exciting for the Black Adam movie to have Amanda Waller, Viola Davis in the film. And yes, I do believe this is a James Gunn plan, but we need Black Adam and Shazam to be successful for this to continue. But yes, I'm very interested to see what happens with this whole Viola Davis and Suicide Squad Amanda Waller connection with Black Adam and where it goes in the future. I hope you're enjoying my San Diego Comic-Con 2022 reaction. Now we're going to focus on the MCU. So there's a lot. I mean, we at the DCEU got 2 freaking trailers. These people have got so much of a plan. They've made announcements for the next, 5 years or so. Maybe a bit more than that. So let's get into this. The MCU's Spidey prequel, Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is animated, was shown off at SDCC, confirming Norman Osborn will play the part of Peter Parker's mentor instead of Tony Stark, but isn't supposed to be MCU, but isn't supposed to be MCU canon ? Are we looking at another multiverse project? By the way, with everything that's been announced, apart from this Spider-Man animated prequel, no Spider-Man movies have been announced. That's interesting. We go on. Marvel's Blade movie starring Mahershala Ali will release on November the 3rd, 2023. Of course, it will be titled The Blade. Marvel confirms their Daredevil reboot will air spring 2024 as part of the MCU Phase 5. It will have an 18-episode first season, and the title is Daredevil Born Again. Now, this is interesting. Is this a reboot? Is this a continuation? Who knows? Very exciting for Daredevil fans. Personally, I think Daredevil deserves a trilogy of movies. He's their Batman, basically, in the Marvel Universe. But 18 episodes is very ambitious by D+. But I hope it's good for the people who love this character. I really enjoyed. I'm not a big fan of Daredevil, but I enjoyed season 1 of the show on Netflix. It then went downhill after that, but season 1 was amazing. So there's your news on that. Marvel's Thunderbolts movie is confirmed and will mark the end of MCU's Phase 5. Again, very, very ambitious. Breaking. The God of Mischief is back. Loki Season 2 will officially release summer 2023. Marvel confirms the official title for Captain America 4 is Captain America New World Order. Very, very interesting, and some exciting events from the Disney Plus show they set up as well, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I will kind of look forward to that. Marvel Studio released official logo for Daredevil Born Again, an original series starring Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, coming spring 2024. We've just gone into that. Breaking from SDCC, the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Phase 4 will come to an end later this year with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Phase 5 will begin in 2023 with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And this is interesting. Was this always the plan, or are they trying to just get out of Phase 4 as soon as possible? I think it's a bit of both, but I did predict that Phase 5 will be, I believe that Phase 5, 6 and 7 will be a lot more improved than Phase 4. I think Phase 4 was just a calamity. It wasn't as well thought out. I just think this was his filler. This was his representation, part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, stuff where he could just mess about and experiment. I think we'll get back to what we're used to from the MCU. But it's going to be interesting because he has set up some great stuff, by the way, in Phase 4, which was always going to pay fruition later down the line. Marvel announced at SDCC that the WandaVision spin-off centered on Agatha Harkness has a new title, Coven of Chaos, and is set for a winter 2023 release. So that's interesting. She was a very good character in WandaVision. Of course, it's another female lead, but this is where we are now. Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige just unveiled MCU Phase 5 full slate, which will begin with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Now, I just want to click on this one, just in case there's a full list. Because then it will just save me the job of keep on scrolling through Twitter. Right, let's have a look. So, Marvel Studios' full MCU Phase 5 slate of movies and TV shows has just been announced. The MCU Phase 4 kicked off in 2021 with Black Widow, not Black Adam, and has included a slew of movies and shows across Disney Plus and theatrical releases. As MCU Phase 4 comes to a close with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the franchise is looking forward to the next stage of its storytelling. After skipping San Diego Comic-Con for a couple of years, the MCU returns to the annual event for the first time since 2019 to lay out what's next for the universe as usual. The presentation features a look back at what Phase 4 has already become and tease of what still remains in it. Beyond that, however, Marvel Studios is also finally talking about Phase 5 as they continue to rebuild the MCU following the culmination of the Infinity Saga via Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Kevin Feige attended Marvel Studios Hall H presentation to talk about what comes next for the franchise. There he unveiled the full MCU Phase 5 slate, which includes a mix of movies and shows kicking off with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania in February 2023. Phase 5 continues with Secret Invasion in spring 2023, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 May 2023, Echo then Loki in summer 2023, The Marvels in July 2023, Blade in November 2023, and Ironheart in fall 2023. Agatha Coven of Chaos will release in winter 2023-2024. Then Phase 5 continues into 2024 with Daredevil Born Again in spring 2024 and Captain America New World Order in May 2024. Check it out below. So yes, this is a picture, by the way, of the plan. This is the map. Should we just check this out? If it allows me to. So you're not going to get a close look at this, but this is what they do. I mean, this is just embarrassing for Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada. The man's got a fucking map of his plan. It's ridiculous, and you have to give him respect. The MCU isn't perfect, but the man has an identity and a plan. As previously mentioned, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is slated to release later this year, will be the end of MCU Phase 4. Then 2023 will mark the beginning of Phase 5. Interestingly, with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanian, the Peyton Reed-led sub-franchise is no stranger to bookending an MCU storytelling chapter, as the original Ant-Man film wrapped up Phase 2. This time, however, it will kickstart a new one, which makes sense if the franchise's overall storyline builds on Kang the Conqueror to be its main villain, since the time-travelling bad guy will be properly introduced in the prequel. After that, there's a mix of TV shows and movies that follows as Marvel Studios tries to balance out its storytelling between the big and small screen. Most of these projects have previously been known, but are now only confirmed. Arguably, the most exciting announcement from the slate, however, is the 18-episode Daredevil series titled Daredevil Born Again. Interestingly, Marvel Studios continues to hold out on another Avengers outing in Phase 5. It seems like they're culminating. The film will be focused on villains with Thunderbolts. The much-anticipated Avengers 5 is confirmed to be part of Phase 6 instead. Very exciting. So it may, we may not have an Avengers film in Phase 5, and I think this journalist is just trying to reel you in there a little bit, but having one in Phase 6 is perfect. They're building up to this, and that's important. That's something else that the DCEU has never done, build up to absolutely nothing. In any case, this makes sense. As seen in some of the Phase 4 projects, Marvel Studios has already started subtly assembling their lineup for this team, led by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. This is a smart move from Feige so as to shake things up for the franchise. The question now is whether or not there are some other projects that have yet to be announced in MCU Phase 5 that they are sitting on. In any case, there's still the D23 Expo where Feige can continue to talk more about their future plans. Very interesting. But I think there was more announcements than that. So the SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, they announced Secret Invasion so the first Secret Invasion footage screened at Marvel's Hall H panel, and it confirms War Machine's return. So let's see what information we can garner from this article. Secret Invasion footage description confirms War Machine return. Secret Invasion footage description from San Diego Comic-Con teases Samuel Jackson's MCU return as Nick Fury in the Disney Plus series. Everything is not as it seems in the world in the first Secret Invasion footage description. The Marvel Cinematic Universe series acts as an adaptation of Brian Michael Bendis and Leinil Francis' used comic book storyline of the same name, in which a sect of the Skrulls are revealed to have infiltrated a number of aspects of Earth and replaced a number of key figures. Secret Invasion will centre on Nick Fury as he returns to Earth to investigate the situation with the help of the Skrull ally Talos. Samuel Jackson is returning to lead the cast of Secret Invasion as Nick Fury, alongside fellow MCU vets Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill, Martin Freeman as Everett K. Ross, and John Cheadle as Rhodey. The Secret series will also mark the MCU debuts of One Night in Miami's Kingsley Ben-Adir as the show's undisclosed lead villain, Olivia Colman, Emilia Clarke, Killian Scott, Christopher McDonald, and Carmen Ejogo. Carl Bradshaw, well known for his Emmy-nominated work on the thriller series Mr. Robot, is head writer for The Secret Invasion, with Let Him Go's Thomas Bajucha and The Looming Towers of Ali Salim directing. During the studio San Diego Comic-Con panel, of which Screen Rant attended, Marvel unveiled the first Secret Invasion footage, which includes the return of Don Cheadle as War Machine. More details follow. Nick Fury lands back to Earth and visits Maria Hill. She tells him she's been trying to call him and leaving voicemails. He says this time is different. Shot of Ben Mendelsohn, there's an action beat where a building explodes. Shot of Skrulls, they're the only ones in the way of what we want. Someone asks him what that is. The Secret Invasion footage description goes on to indicate that Fury meets with Don Cheadle's Rhodey in an intimate location, subtly hinting to the MCU's War Machine of the impending threat of the Skrulls. Interestingly, the footage shown at SDCC revealed Olivia Colman to be playing an authority-type figure to Jackson's character. Oh, what a surprise, a woman in charge of a man. Just what the woke mob want. This is where we are now. There's nothing wrong with a woman being in charge of a man, but it's just these political point scoring all the time, leaving many to wonder whether the Crown star is playing a Skrull or if she worked with S.H.I.E.L.D. prior to their public dismantling in Captain America the Winter Soldier. I believe that Olivia Colman is Samuel Jackson's replacement. He's not getting any younger. He's really expensive. I think this is what they're up to. Olivia Colman is a great actor. She's a great woman, and she will be great. With the Skrulls since the events of Avengers Endgame, in which the world was brought back from the blip, either option seems possible for Coleman's character. While the confirmation of Cheadle's War Machine returning for Secret Invasion, it will be interesting to see how large of a role he plays within the MCU series. The character was last seen in Falcon and the Winter Soldier for one episode, which he still earned Primetime Emmy nomination for, and given his work in Armor Wars later down the road, one can hope Rhodey gets more screen time with his fellow MCU vets than seen of late. Only time will tell when Secret Invasion hits Disney Plus in spring 2023. Interesting stuff there. Captain America 4, officially titled New World Order, has received a May 3rd, 2024 release date from Marvel. We already know that. I will just check if there's any information here. So there doesn't really seem much. So as part of Studio San Diego Comic-Con panel, of which Screen Rant was in attendance, Marvel has revealed, thank you for jumping there, Captain America's 4 release date ultimately puts the film at the tail end of the MCU's Phase 4. The confirmation that this is less than 2 years away from hitting the big screen is sure to come as exciting news for fans of the franchise. Interestingly, it will also be nearly a decade since a prior film with the Captain America title hit theatres, the last being 2016's Captain America Civil War. Yeah, they don't really seem to have much information here. Yeah, there's not any information here. I think D23 will be the convention to go. Breaking. The first footage of Ant-Man 3 Quantumania reveals Kang's official introduction. Scott Lang says, "I'm an Avenger." Kang chillingly replies, "I'm a conqueror." So very, very exciting to have Kang in Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man Quantumania. And it'd be great to see this villain take shape, because Feige is really going to feed him through the franchise very surely, but slowly. And that's good. The first footage from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 reveals Gamora's return, Baby Rocket Raccoon, Adam Warlock's debut, and more. So that's very exciting too. And I think, Avengers The Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars ends Phase 6. So let's get that clear. Avengers The Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars ends Phase 6. So that's very, very exciting. They're very great titles. This is Kevin Feige, everyone. So no matter if there's a hiccup in the MCU, like Thor Love and Thunder, ultimately there's a bigger plan. I mean, for him to come at Hall H and announce all this stuff is sensational. And for me, as a DC fan, as a Superman fan, this is so embarrassing for me. And it should be embarrassing for Warner Brothers Pictures. They are a fucking embarrassment. Right, Marvel's Fantastic Four movie will officially release on November the 8th, 2024 and kick off Phase 6 of the MCU. So there's a bit of a wait for that. So, Marvel Studios officially announces during San Diego Comic-Con 2022 that Avengers 5 and 6 are officially in the works and will be titled Avengers, the Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars, which we've already gone over. So Marvel Studios finally confirms Namor, played by Tenoch Huerta, will make his MCU debut. Kind of their version of Aquaman. basically his universe is kind of Atlantis. Well, it is Atlantis as well, but apparently they've made some changes to that. Interesting. So let's just see if there's anything else for you. The villain of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be the High Evolutionary as played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, confirming fan theories. Of course, he was in Peacemaker as well. And basically, that's it, everyone. You know, Marvel's Kevin Feige announced MCU Phases 4, 5 and 6 have their own official title, The Multiverse Saga. That's what they're calling it, The Multiverse Saga. The DCEU were going to do a multiverse strategy, starting with the Flash movie. They were going to do a similar thing. It was exciting to use the Flash's Speed Force to change everything. I didn't know what was going to happen when I was so hyped and excited and say, yeah, in your face, Feige and MCU stands. We're going to get there. It's brilliant. It's exciting. I didn't know they were going to use this to delete Henry Cavill's Superman, replace him with Supergirl, and down the line in another universe, a black Clark Kent. I didn't know these disgusting decisions were being made when I was excited. The DCEU is a clusterfuck. It's a mess. There's some films we can celebrate from the franchise, but as a franchise, it makes no sense. They brought in Christopher Nolan to helm a Superman movie back in 2013. They called it Man of Steel. This was going to herald a new franchise. Why was Christopher Nolan allowed to come in? Because of the success of the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman and Superman are very different. Running a trilogy over a franchise are two very different things. His morality and his integrity, his artistic integrity are very different. He went and got Zack Snyder, a very unpopular, visionary director. And we know that. He was unpopular because of Watchmen. Big mistake. I love the way he directs. I personally love the Snyderverse. But because of the way he is, and he's controversial, it went downhill, it didn't work out, and then they didn't know what to do next. Their reaction to Snyder and what he did was absolutely ridiculous. Now we literally have 2 movies in the DCEU left, or you can put it another way, 2 movies to save the DCEU. I don't believe David Zaslav is attempting to save the DCEU. I believe he will take Peacemaker, Black Adam and Shazam if they're successful, and integrate them into a new franchise. I think this is what they would do with Blue Beetle. But the Hamadaverse, the multiverse strategy, everyone, it's dead. But congratulations to Marvel fans, who I really give a hard time to. Your president stood up there like a professional and announced this huge plan of 3 phases. And I'm not an MCU stan, and I'm fucking excited for that. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of footage to show, but the title cards are enough for now. Obviously, title cards don't make a summer. It's all about the content. But at the end of the day, he fucking stood there and gave you everything. And he's going to give you a lot more when it comes to the official Disney convention as well. I am fucking jealous of Marvel stans. I am dismayed at the mess that's been made of the DC cinematic universe. It should have been something extremely special. This has been Movies TV Mad. I hope you really enjoyed my coverage of San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, the con continues today and tomorrow with different TV shows if you're interested in that. If anything big comes up, like with Quantum Leap, which I'm very, very interested in, with that relaunch, I'll let you know. I don't think Doctor Who's there this year, but anyway, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection, and I'll see you for tomorrow's show. Until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.